and welcome to Claire K's Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to make my Italian chicken meatballs in the food processor. But this is not so much a recipe as a method that you can use to make any sort of meatballs. You can throw in anything you've got left over dying in the fridge, that floppy carrot or onion that's got a bit of green stuff growing out of it. Throw it all in the food processor and mix it up with a few flavours and you will have a delicious dinner in no time. So to make my chicken meatballs, what I use is some chopped up chicken. It's best if it's still a little bit frozen. Then a collection of vegetables. Today I'm using an onion, a handful of mushrooms, a carrot, a squash that I found in the bottom of the crisper, a potato, and then a handful of fresh herbs from the garden, whatever you think will go with it. And then some garlic and tomato paste, salt and pepper and chilli. And then to hold it all together, you need breadcrumbs and an egg and some cheese, of course. So this is how simple it is. Throw it all in the food processor. You can use any sort of chicken you like. It can be mince or pieces of chicken. And of course, if you're using a different kind of meat, any sort of cut. So once you've got everything in there, add the breadcrumbs and the egg last to hold it all together. Then just pop the lid on and whiz it up until it's nice and smooth. When it looks like everything's mixed in, scrape down the sides and add your seasoning. Then whiz it up again until it's smooth. Next, you have to make sure that it's the right consistency so you can roll it into meatballs. So take off the lid and grab a spoon and see if it holds together on the spoon. So this one's, it's a little bit it's got a bit too much liquid in it at the moment. So to even it out, just add a few more breadcrumbs. And obviously if it's got too much, if it's too dry, then add a bit more liquid so you can add either a sauce or add another egg. But keep in mind that will make it very liquidy. So better to just add things a little bit at a time. So the consistency that you want them is so that you can roll them into balls and they're going to hold their shape. You're not going to cook them in a pan, so they don't need to be too firm, but just so they'll hold their shape when you roll them up and won't stick all over your hands. Mine's about right. So then you need to clean up your mess, just like this. Always wanted to do that. And then I like to put on a pair of gloves because I don't like getting chicken underneath my fingernails. So if you can bear it, you don't need the gloves, but I put them on anyway. Then you will need a big baking dish that you can put in the oven, obviously, that has a lid. And then spray it with a little bit of oil. Then you're going to grab a tablespoon and get to work on the meatballs. So rolling them into balls. You can make them whatever size you like. I like to use a tablespoon, so they're this sort of size. So roll them up and lay them out in the dish in a single layer. Once you've rolled them all into balls and they're in the baking dish, you will need some sort of tomato sauce to cook them in. I am just using a basic tomato pasta sauce from the supermarket, but you can also use tin tomato soup or tomato passata. So the amount you need will vary depending on how many meatballs you're making and the quantity of your ingredients. So just enough to pour over the top. Sorry, I can't be more specific. Pour it all over the meatballs so that they're covered. Then pop them into the oven, which will be at 180 degrees Celsius, fan forced, with the lid on for about 20 to 25 minutes. Just taking the meatballs out of the oven and they smell amazing. That's pretty much all there is to it. I've served them with a side of veggies and potato, or you can serve them over pasta with a ready-made sauce. You can even chop them up a little bit and toss them through the pasta. The possibilities are endless. But this is just my Italian chicken meatballs. Now, using this idea as a basis, you can make any sort of flavours. So you could make them Mexican, throw in extra chili and maybe some capsicum and spices. You could, and with Mexican, you probably cook them in a tomato sauce with some Mexican spices. You could make a Thai sort of base if you use, say, some lemongrass and ginger in with the mix, and then cook it, or you could throw in some chili paste as well, and then cook it in probably coconut milk, be like chicken or beef or whatever meatball curry. Once you've got the base down pat, the possibilities are endless, as I said. You can also freeze them. They freeze really well. I use my Cryovac bags, but you can just freeze them in a single layer in a container, or layer them up with some freezer paper in between. So there you have it, my Italian chicken meatballs, but also my use up whatever you've got left in the fridge meatballs. I hope you enjoy them.